Welcome back, Recliner Sports Reporters, to another episode of Knockout Bets Podcast, brought to you by Mac. And as always, Andrew. Andrew, how are we doing today? It was good seeing you this weekend.
Yeah, likewise. It was a super fun weekend. Dragging a little bit today, but I'm happy to be here talking to you now.
Yeah, right. Same, man. Same. We're getting too old. That's awesome, though, buddy. So no UFC fights this weekend. What a bummer.
Right. Memorial Day weekend, though, everybody enjoy the day off from work and also remember what the holiday's about and give that space to at least have a small thought about our veterans and our active duty people who have protected our freedom and continue to do so. And, also enjoy the day off with a burger and a beer or whatever you do that day.
Yeah, right. Whatever. Yeah, definitely probably going to slam like at least the over-under for how many hot dogs Mac eats on Monday is definitely getting set at 10. So take it as you please.
There you go. That's solid.
So we decided for today we're going to talk a little recap of last week's fights and then some other sports news and updates from around the globe. So last weekend we had UFC Fight Night, Holly Holm versus Ketlin Vieira. I came out on the winning end, but definitely I would consider myself very lucky with the main fight and the main event. But there were plenty of other good ones on there as well. So talk to me, Andrew. What were some of the ones that you had highlights for and that stuck out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I had a good week too. I obviously didn't get the main event because we were head to head on that one, and that was close. I mean, you go to decision like that, and I felt like it should have gone Holly's way, but I'm definitely not super mad at it going Ketlin's way.
As someone who took Ketlin, I was sitting on the couch right next to you, and I was like, "Yeah, it's Holly Holm all day." Like that,
I had 47 home on my card. I had her. If I'm remembering correctly, I think I had Holly 1, 3, and 5, but I do know that I scored 3 rounds for her. But when it's that close, I mean, you can't be mad at it going either way.
Yeah. And I had it kind of looking like the Usman Masvidal one fight where, Usman spent a majority of the time with Masvidal trapped up against the cage. I was thinking the same thing. It was just Holly had done enough to get the judge's decision. But I was shocked.
Well, and it's one of those things like how much credit do you give for like cage control when you're not really doing much with it? Like you're not throwing elbows or knees. I mean, she did work for the takedown at some points, but she didn't ever really get them. Like how much, you're controlling your opponent. So I guess that's one of the metrics for scoring. But how much are you really doing in terms of if you're just thinking about winning a fight? It's not doing that much damage. So
for sure.
Well, can definitely see how a couple of judges went the other way.
Yeah, it was, and I think definitely Vieira definitely did land the bigger shots. I think she definitely.
Oh, for sure. We knew she was going to have more power going into it.
But it was shocking how good her striking was actually compared to Holly Holm, who is on paper the better striker.
I mean, yeah, she was a professional boxer and a really good one.
So it was.
But she's also 40 years old now.
Yeah, so. It was actually Holly's physicality that actually I thought was keeping her in that fight. And again,
it's definitely that like clinch control along the side of the cage type thing that led to her winning any rounds.
Right. Yeah. The other one I thought was a great fight, Michael Pereira versus Santiago Ponzinibbio, which we knew was going to be a great
absolutely
fight.
That lived up to the expectations.
That
just
last
back and forth striking war. I love it. I love it when you have two guys and they've just, they've emptied the tank already and they just stand in the middle of the cage and wing bombs for the last minute or last 30 seconds or whatever. I love it when a fight ends that way.
Yeah, it was a wild finish. And
it reminds me, I always go back to, and I just, I'm actually all caught up now. I just started a couple days ago watching this current season of The Ultimate Fighter. And of course, anytime you watch The Ultimate Fighter, they bring up the Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner that like made The Ultimate Fighter a thing, and even grew UFC viewership and da 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 da. Where those guys in the last round are just standing in the middle, winging bombs, just kind of like the Pereira and Ponzinibbio fight ended this weekend.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. And then our good old knockout bet of the week, Chitty Chitty Bang
Hey,
Bang. That
let's
was an
go.
epic finish. That was a great
Elbow.
win. Yeah, that was
Yeah, elbow to the head with about 10 seconds left in the round.
put him to sleep. That was such a
Yeah, I can't
highlight reel
promise
finish.
anybody that I'm going to continue in this way, but if I'm correct in counting, I think that makes me 6 out of 8 on knockout bets. I've had a couple of them where we've done the show earlier in the week, and then the fight's been canceled before it's happened. But I think that makes 6 out of 8. I know I had a streak of 4 straight at one point that got broken, but yeah, feels good to hit that one. You know, when you put it out there publicly on the show and also have some money on it.
Yeah, 100%.
Nice to win that.
Oh yeah, and I'm telling you, you're on to you're on the money with that. And speaking about being on,
I mean, 75%. We'll take that all day, every day on any kind of betting.
oh yeah, and speaking of that, changing gears now, back over to our MLB overs. So we're up to 100 games now,
Okay.
and our 100 game mark, we are at 71 out of 100 games. So
71%. That's amazing for any kind of betting thing.
yeah, so
Do you have any? So we're recording this for people who are watching it later. It's Thursday the 26th. Do you have any of them for tonight?
yeah, I have the Athletics game and the Blue Jays game.
Nice. Is the A's game over 7? I think I took that one
yeah,
too.
I think it's over. It was over 7. Yeah, we got let me just double check. Yeah, Blue Jays, Angels, and then I also have the Twins and the Royals too. We'll see how those pan out. But I'm feeling good about those. But yeah, like you said, 71 out of 100, man. That's
Yep. Oh, I
that's a
also
good
took
pull.
the Tigers and Guardians over 7 tonight too.
And shout out to any crazy dudes that had the Cubs and the Reds at
Oh
25.
man,
My God.
the Reds put up almost 3 touchdowns today.
Yeah, that's
And the Reds have
insane.
had a rough season. So
That's
that's
insane. I'm
yeah.
definitely feeling like the books are catching on though, because I've been seeing less and less 8s, and I've been seeing more 8.5s, and I've been seeing a lot less favorites on the overs now. I think our secret's up, but still 71%. I like that. I like those
71% is
odds.
solid. Yeah.
I've had some good
I
payouts the
mean, who
last
knows
couple
if
of
it's going to continue at that, but
Who
out of
knows?
100 is a decent sample
It's a
size.
good sample size, so we're gonna keep riding for another 100. We'll see, see how it goes. Next up, we have the NBA playoffs. Been a been a fun playoff series all the way from the first rounds to the conference finals. Now, I'm having a really fun time watching the Celtics. They are a
I bet
hot
you
team
are.
right now. I think the Heat, we were talking about it last week, the Heat are too reliant on Jimmy Butler. Even Bam's presence in the paint was good, but
Right.
once you
Well, and I
saw
think Hero was out the last game,
yeah,
so
but once
like
you saw this, what another big man can do with uh, Bobby Williams and Al Horford, they kind of taken out uh, that threat there with Bam, and now it's just relying on Jimmy Butler. And I think the Celtics have a lot of weapons. I think over on the Warriors side, though, they're still a trial tested team, and they have a bunch of dudes that know and have been there before. And again, you're facing a Mavs team that's really the same thing, just relying on Luka to get it done.
right.
I think honestly, again, it's Thursday night. I think
They're probably going to close it out
the
tonight.
Warriors
I
close it
mean,
out tonight.
minus 320 or something on the money line tonight. So
Yeah,
it tells
like
you
I said,
the bookies think they're closing it out tonight too. I
I'm
mean, they're
gonna
at
hope.
home.
I'm gonna
They've
hope
shown they're
for
the better team.
I'm gonna hope
Sorry, go
for
ahead.
I'm gonna hope for a Warriors go down 10 and we can
Live line it.
live line. Also, yes, goals, Hurricanes. Let's go, Hurricanes. Shout out to JBookie14 over on TikTok. He he said it. Scared money
Slam the
don't make
Hurricanes tonight.
scared money don't make money. So let's go. Throw throw it all on the Hurricanes. I love it. Sorry, I'm
They
watching the
play
Hurricanes.
well at home. I mean, their home record is something crazy. I don't have the
Unreal.
exact number in front of me, but they play well at home.
I don't even know. They may have lost one, but I don't even know if they've lost a home game in the
In the
playoffs.
playoffs.
Actually,
Yeah.
I know the
Yeah.
Bruins. They won every home game against the Bruins. But yeah. So there we go. Heck yeah with that. But yeah, man. And I think the Celtics are showing they're a team in the East that is going to be here for a while. I think they're young and they're
Yep.
good and they're talented. It's a tough conference to play in. I mean, you got Giannis over with the Bucks.
I was gonna say, Milwaukee will be back
Yeah.
strong.
And the Nets, if they can figure out what's going on, the Nets are also a good team. I don't know what they're going to do with Kyrie, but Durant is always a solid player. So it'll be interesting to see
Yeah.
the next couple
Any
of years
team
with the
that
East.
Durant's on is gonna be good. I mean, he's still. It feels weird to say still because he's feels like he's been around forever. Um, but still, any team he's on is going to be good, and we'll see what it looks like around him next year in Brooklyn. I kind of feel like I guess we'll see what they do in the offseason, but I kind of almost wonder if their time has passed, and
Yeah.
it's a lot contingent on what do they get from Ben Simmons, because prior to Ben Simmons never playing, having injuries and whatnot, this, that, the other thing, being unhappy in Philadelphia. Ben Simmons is a really, really, really solid, underrated guy. And so if they can get him back healthy and pair him with Durant and, figure out whether Kyrie is that third guy or whether it's somebody else, they could be dangerous. But definitely more questions, I think, about the Nets.
Yeah. And so what are your thoughts now that we're getting closer here to being at the finals? What are
Yeah, my thought is that I love my plus 290 bet that I have for Warriors over Celtics. That's looking pretty strong to me. Like we said, I think the Warriors are gonna close it out tonight, and then Boston's obviously got the 3-2 lead in the series, so they just have to win one out of the next two. They're at home for Game 6. I think they'll probably close it out tomorrow night. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna see most likely, and anything can happen. I mean, we saw the Warriors with the 3-1 and LeBron and the whole thing in the finals a couple years ago. So anything can happen, but it looks likely that we're going to see the Celtics and the Warriors in the finals. And like you said, the Celtics are really good. They're also really young. I think just kind of echoing what you said, that the experience the Warriors have. I mean, you have this core of Steph, Clay, and Draymond Green that has been to the finals over and over and over and over again. Been there, done that, won. They've been in the finals and lost. They know what they're doing there. They're experienced there, et cetera, et cetera. And that's not even mentioning, Andrew Wiggins has fit so well into that team, not having to be the number one scorer every night. He still is sometimes. Sometimes he turns it on when they need him to, but he's just gelled and fit in so well with that team.
Same with Poole, Jordan Poole too has also
right.
been.
Exactly. They've got a really solid and pretty deep team, and it depends who you're talking to, but I feel like sometimes that Steve Kerr doesn't get enough credit for how great of a coach he is too. I think that absolutely matters. And and same thing with Udoka with the Celtics. So I do think that this Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum core has a good chance to win a championship at some point in time. I don't think it's this year.
Yep.
I'm picking the Warriors to win it this year.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to have to agree with you on that one. I think it'll be fun, and I hope Boston does pull it off. But I think you're right. I think the Warriors are too talented and too deep, and they got too many experienced guys. And I think they're gonna get another ring. And you know what? But it will be fun to watch to see what happens. Um, so
Yeah. And it's
foot,
one of these,
yeah,
I mean, regardless of whether they do or not, it's another one of these, like, I don't think you can call it a dynasty because they're not really like winning their championships consecutively. It's like
yep,
two in a row and then skip one, then skip two, and then but it reminds me a little bit of the Spurs with Tim Duncan. I mean, Tim Duncan won 5 rings in his career, but they were spread out
yeah.
through his career. So Warriors kind of remind me a little bit of that.
Yeah, and again, yeah, then they've been competitive, year after year. So that's the other thing.
Oh, totally. Yeah, there's the one year where like everybody got hurt
Yeah,
and they had a high draft pick that helped them out, um but yeah.
right. All right. Well, switching gears now to football. So breaking news: Colin Kaepernick. We gonna see him in the league this year, getting a tryout, a private
That's the
tryout.
news of the day today, I guess, is he's trying out with the Raiders. So he went to school in Nevada for college, and I guess he's been uh, living there and working out. And the Raiders have, reading the ESPN article today about Kaepernick, have this tradition going back to Al Davis of being progressive and giving everybody equal opportunity and that kind of thing. And so, you know, we'll see. Kaepernick said it himself, the NFL should be a meritocracy. And so if he's good enough to play, hopefully he has a spot, whether it's in Las Vegas or somewhere else. Last time we saw him, which was 2015 or 16, whatever it was,
Yeah.
he was definitely at that point. Nobody can argue that he wasn't good enough to be a backup quarterback in the NFL and possibly fringe starter. When you haven't played in 6 years or whatever it's been, we're gonna find out.
Yeah.
It's obviously
It's
an
gonna be
interesting
interesting.
story to pay attention to. It's obviously a terrible thing that's happened to him to essentially be blackballed for 5 or 6 years for standing up for things that maybe, hopefully, slowly the world is starting to catch up with. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting story no matter what happens.
Yeah, I hope he lands somewhere. I mean, before, when the Bengals weren't doing too hot and before we drafted Joe Burrow, I was on the whole, I hope the Bengals pick up Cap because Andy Dalton was not getting things done. I think it's super weird year for QBs in this league. Again, even with the draft only having really 2 that were noteworthy. A lot of teams are making crazy moves with quarterbacks this year. We've been seeing some wild trades and wild movement. The Browns, I have no idea what's going on there. It doesn't
I was going to
actually
say, Baker Mayfield still doesn't have a team.
Well, here's the thing. Things are starting to look a little worse for Deshaun Watson now. And the Browns may need Baker. So that's crazy. And then, the Bengals, I would still like to see
Yeah,
Cap. I
I
think he
don't
could
know.
be
I
a
think that
backup.
relationship with Baker and the Browns is so fractured. I don't think there's any way he stays.
Well, if I know anything about Cleveland, is that they're always going to do the unexpected. The other thing you got looking is, though, like, I would still love if the Bengals could pick up Cap, because I know very well that without Joe Burrow, the Bengals are a different team, and not very good at all. So having a backup like that, and again, I'm sure he's not wanting to be a backup, but sometimes you got to play your part, and you never know with football what happens. As Joe Burrow's first season, tore his ACL, and again, not hoping that ever happens again. I would be crushed. I may go cry. Emotional damage right there. But I think taking a viable backup, someone like Colin Kaepernick, could be good for any NFL team in the league.
Yeah, I just had to look it up while you were talking because I didn't even know who the current Bengals backup quarterback
Oh,
is,
Brandon Allen.
Brandon Allen.
Oh yeah, Brandon Allen.
Um,
I could have told you that.
yeah, and I mean it's right. I'm sure he could have. I was
Brandon Allen.
curious. Um,
Good old lucky legend right there.
yeah. So yeah, I mean it's tough to say how good a 34-year-old Kaepernick after being out of the league for 6 years is going to be, but you've sort of got to use your imagination and say probably better than Brandon Allen.
Oh, 100%. I can tell you right now he is. I've watched Brandon Allen in Cleveland get destroyed by the Browns and destroyed over and over again. And again, I love you, Bengals, and I can't do what you do, Brandon, but there's better guys out there.
Right.
Well, it'll be, like I said, it'll be interesting. I'm honestly just excited to get football back and going. I am so tired of not being able to wake up on Sundays and just watch football. Honestly, summer
Yeah.
would be better if you could just watch football on Sundays too. I love it. I miss it. I'm getting the itch. And the USFL, the fan football control, it ain't doing it.
It
It
doesn't do
ain't
it.
doing it. It ain't doing it. I don't like it.
Nope.
I don't like it. It
Nope.
ain't doing it.
I mean, I think I said this on the last show, or maybe it's two back or so, but like before I'm even gonna try to get interested in one of those leagues, I want to see it last 2 or 3 years. Like
Yeah.
we've had the AAF, the second version of the XFL, and I guess now they're bringing us back the third version of it. Like these leagues are one and done usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they last into a second season, they've made it a lot further than the other ones.
Yeah.
It's for a variety of reasons, and especially recently, COVID hasn't helped with any of that. But yeah, I mean, I do think there's absolute validity to having, more than just arena football,
Yeah.
as a way for guys to play if they're not in the NFL. Um, you know, most sports, I mean, we've seen just in the last like 15 years or so, the NBA didn't really used to have a minor league, and now we have I'm going to call it the D League because I hate that they sold the sponsorship of it, and now I have to call it something else. But it's the D League to me, and it's growing and growing and growing and super successful, and it's helpful to the NBA teams. The NFL could absolutely have a minor league, and whether that
Yeah.
ends up being one of these leagues that's playing in the off season and trying to keep football going more year round, or whatever it ends up being, there's absolutely room for whether it's officially affiliated or whether it's just another league that kind of gives guys another chance to get into the NFL, whatever it is. There's definitely room for that
Oh
somewhere.
yeah. 100%. And yeah, I know we were saying, we need to see some length and a longevity in the league, but I am excited to see. I hope The Rock can pull something off with this XFL. I think if there's any guy to do it, The Rock's going to get it done.
What was that show that he was on, the football show? I can't remember the name of it on HBO.
Billions or
No, that's not the one.
Ballers.
That's the one. Yeah. So he played like a football executive on that show, and now he's doing it in real life. And if he does anything like he did it on the show, then hopefully they'll last a couple of years.
Yeah, right. Or at least just film him doing it and then make it a show, right? Again.
There you go.
Awesome. All right, wrapping us up. We got
I have a topic I want to bring up.
Go ahead.
So I went to the horse track for the first time in my life.
I would say that's what I was about to get us to, our last topic, wrapping it up.
Okay.
So, yes, went to good old Suffolkstown. Got to take Andrew. That was your first time?
That was the first time in my life to the horse track. I had fun.
Now, and of all the horse tracks, Suffolkstown's over in Boston area. So, most horse tracks that are up and running, there's a vibe. When there's actual horse races running at the track, it's a different vibe. This is a little off the track, but you can tell when you pull in, right? When you drive in and you see those grass parking lots, you can see it in your head, the long lines that used to be waiting to get in there, and probably how much fun it used to be. But you walk in now, and it is not looking like that, but you can still feel the energy coming from the walls. So talk to me. How was your first
Oh,
time
it was
at the
cool. And I
track?
mean, the track itself is still there, and it looks like somebody's maintained. Did they ever run races, or they
They
never
used to
run
run. Yep,
races?
they used to run races. They stopped running races. Now I think they're going
Right,
to turn
that's
it
what I
into
mean.
a
Like not
play area,
anymore.
like a park for their kids or something like that, or maybe even a mall.
Gotcha. Yeah, but that was cool because you can see like right out the window. You can still see where the track was, and so that kind of sets the atmosphere a little bit there. And yeah, I mean, you know, you were there, but for the people who weren't, Mac taught me a little bit about how to bet on horses this past weekend. I knew a little bit because you just pick up kind of by osmosis of being a sports fan, but I didn't know the finer parts of it. So thank you for helping me out with that. I had super fun every time. It's 2 minutes of just like, the first minute it's like, all right, they're just starting. And then you get about a minute in, you get out of your chair and start yelling at the TV.
Those last
And
turns are always that'll
everybody
get you.
around you is doing the same thing. And yeah, it was a great time. I
And
mean,
I will admit, you picked up horse gambling quicker than any of the other people that have ever taken horse gambling to a horse.
well, I think it's probably because I just gamble a lot,
Right.
like every day.
But you were understanding
Um,
what I was meaning by like, hey, that's what a favorite looks like. Like we're gonna try to find the top three. Oh, like
right,
this race only has 6 horses running it. We should try to hit a trifecta here. We should try to
right,
just only bet the favorite here, or like, oh, that's might be the line favorite, but the betting favorite is this number, and let's track each TV and see where over 17 minutes until post where it's changed. You were picking that stuff up,
right.
and I think
Yeah, no, it's all numbers and analysis and
your
that
best
sort of
one of
thing.
the night ended up being the craziest race of the whole night.
Oh yeah, that one.
So I got to tell this story. So me and Andrew we're chasing TVs. We're looking at races. We see this one we've been looking at. It was over at Belmont. I think it was like Belmont Race 12 this past Saturday.
10 or 11, 12,
10
I
or
don't
11,
remember.
or maybe
Whatever it
maybe
was.
it was 11. I don't know. All I know is we were betting the 11. We were watching the
Horse
whole time.
11.
It was
Yeah.
going off. It had 7-2 odds. It was the clear favorite. Everyone in the room had number 11. You could tell, you could feel it, you
Yep.
could hear
Oh,
even
it
the
was
people
loud.
that were only speaking Spanish. You could hear them say 11, 11, 11. You could hear them saying it over and over again. You could start hearing everyone in the room. So we go, we like that, we place. We're going to go all in on this race right before the Preakness was about to go in. All right, now
Yep.
here we're going to go place a nice big just to I did win play show. I think, did you do win?
I did win place show
So
also.
we went win play show. We went for the full shebang, and 11 starts off slow. Worst start you could
Like
ever
back of the pack.
the whole race, and we were just sitting there. I'd already written off. I was about to tear off my slip. I'd already. You can tell the whole room's down, the whole room, and all of a sudden,
Everyone's like, oh.
11 starts making a move, and then he gets right into
This
the
is the
middle.
best
It
part.
gets right into the middle of the pack, and all of a sudden, a horse falls down. The jockey flies off the horse.
And
It
you see
gets
the jockey go like, I mean, I'm
vertical
sure it
or
wasn't this high,
horizontal.
but it looked like the jockey went 10 feet in the air.
Horizontally flew and then gets ran over by 2 other horses.
Right.
And
We're like, we
then
just witnessed some guy like have something really bad happen to him.
I'm pretty sure if he's alive, I want to get you on the podcast so you can tell us the story. But oh my God, I thought he was dead. And
Trampled.
then
Right.
out of all that mess, the whole room erupts because guess who's now in first? 11 is tearing it up, coming
Took it
down the
home.
stretch, and then wins by a nose. And we were like, we were going crazy. The whole room was going crazy. But really, the big question was, what happened to the guy who got flown off the horse? And then they never showed
Right.
a replay.
And then they never showed anything. And yeah, so there are certain things in sports. So like in I don't know, in most sports, like if a streaker runs out on the field, like they'll pan the camera somewhere else. You know what I mean? They won't give that person like the
Or a bad
notoriety of
injury. If there's
being
a
on
bad
TV
injury,
or whatever.
they're not going to show the replays.
Right, exactly. So I wonder, I mean, it makes me wonder if it's something like that, like he just really got really, really injured, and
Had to
um,
be. Had to be.
they just don't show that stuff on TV because it's pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
But
Either way,
yeah.
it was
In all seriousness, though, really hope that guy's okay.
yeah, I hope he's good too. And I swear, if you're watching out there, hit us up. We'd love to have you on the show. Well, I'm glad you got to go. And then June 11th, we got the final race of the Triple Crown. We got the Belmont. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. I don't really know Epicenter's. I don't even know who's racing. I know Epicenter. I've lost in you twice now. Well, I've
Right.
ended up covering because I've Win Place showed you, but still
Right.
not
Finish second. Yeah.
not where I want you to be. Oh, and then what about the little old lady? This little old lady, brilliant. She stands right in front of me. She goes to the teller. She puts $20 on every single horse for place. So that's for all you out there who don't know what we're talking about. Place means it can come in first or second. She bet $20 on every horse. There was only 9 horses, so it was a small field. So that was actually kind of a smart bet because it's
$180 bet total.
And all you're hoping for is that a favorite doesn't win.
Right.
And the 10 to 1
some sort of long shot comes in first and second.
And she got a 10 to 1 to come in first, and so she's going to get the first and the second, and she's also going to get the second on the horse that did come in second, which ended up being the favorite, but still.
They came in first. Right. Yeah.
But man, talk about fun strategy.
Yeah. No, she definitely made money on it.
Oh,
I mean,
weirdly enough, when I went to cash out, she was in front of me, and I saw so many $100 bills coming her way. So
right.
Jealous. So good for her.
I mean, the only way you really don't make money on that is like if the top 2 favorites come in first and second.
Exactly. That's the only way. That's the only way.
And even then, you're getting some of that investment back, just not all of it.
Yeah, it was fun. I was jealous. I almost wanted to do it myself.
It's a good That was a good strategy.
She knew.
Yeah.
That's experience right there.
Right. Well, and imagine if she did that in the Derby with the 80 to 1 horse that won.
Well, so that's a little bit bigger.
Crazy
that's
money.
like 20. There's like 21 horses. So
okay.
That's
so
a little bit
harder
bigger
to do
bet.
in a bigger field like that.
But still, even you cut it in half and go $10 a horse. Still,
right.
80 to 1. You're looking, yeah.
That's $800
right there.
Yeah. Just for first, let alone whatever it is for second.
Well, I hope hopefully we'll have some good locks for you all for the last race of the Triple Crown. I'll do my research. I'll put the pen to the paper, and I'll try to see what's up. All right. Well, hey, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll be back next week again with our picks for the next upcoming fight.
UFC card. It's Glover Teixeira and Yuri. I can't pronounce his name. Prochaska.
Yeah, and I'm torn. I don't know who to bet. I think
I don't know. I haven't done my research yet either, and it's not one that I'm gonna pick off the cuff. Yeah.
Too early to make a pick. Got to do my research.
Yeah, old man and the young gun, but they're both deserving to be at the top of the division.
Oh, for sure. 100%. It's going to be a great fight. Well, again, thank you all for tuning in. Keep an eye out for more Recliner Sports Report bets. And
hey, there she is. Keep the change.
And keep the change, baby.
That's awesome. That's hilarious.
Awesome. All right. Keep the change. That's it. That's all it needs to be said.
We'll see you later.